I think this year's upfront is going to look different than it has in the past. I think obviously there are external factors at play, whether the content is available, right? Because the upfront is about as much about a content presentation as it is about how brands are spending their dollars, and it's where that content is going to be allocated, like where the expectation is in terms of where the original content will be placed. Well, how are the linear TV networks filling their content requirements on their linear channels versus where are they placing content or creating new forms of original content for their now emerging streaming platforms that they've invested a lot of resources and capital against. And so I think, as a marketer, marketers are always driven by where is the best content, where are your consumers going to be going to view and kind of seek out that content. And as a result, that's a key consideration.
So tell us about, you think the negotiations will be quarterly, will ongoing? Does the sort of what does the calendar mean?
Yeah, and well, the calendar is different for every marketer. I can speak to Molson Coors. Like we still look at there's still advantages, obviously, to securing things that have scarcity around them. That's the value of the upfront, really, for any marketer, is the area of how do you make sure you have some of your dollars placed around some of the more scarcest forms of content, right? And so I think so we will make those commitments where we think, obviously we want to make sure we have a presence in those types of places. But other than that, I think we will look for flexibility, and so we'll place dollars at the thresholds we feel are appropriate and available to meet our minimum needs, and then we will make shifts and changes across the course of the year as changing consumer behavior can be unpredictable, and we want to make sure we're not being, I guess, having our dollars kind of secured in places that we don't have the ability to move around.
When you look at CTV across direct and programmatic, new opportunities are very much different than the linear buy. What are opportunities and challenges around CTV buying it programmatically?
Yeah, I mean, well, the challenges are just making sure the inventory is first and foremost, making sure the inventory is available to buy programmatically, and then also having clear visibility to the entire CTV ecosystem. So making sure that you have access to the content across all the ad-supported opportunities available, so that you can plan most effectively, right? Like in linear TV. You want to make sure that you are maximizing your reach for the most part, right? Most marketers are still operating in that way, or maximizing wherever you think is going to drive the greatest business performance. And in order to do so, you need to have visibility to those audiences across the different platforms that are available. And so, looking for unified solutions is a key driver to that.
So speaking of investment and getting to the right people, what's happening? What are you embracing in terms of data-driven investment and audience-based planning? And what might be particular to you guys in terms of alcohol-based products? What's new in terms of audience targeting and planning?
Yeah, I think I would say a couple things that are new as relates to audience-based planning is to having a clear view of the different types of audiences, and creating audiences that have scale behind them that you can link back to, whether it's through attribution or other tools, link back directly to a business outcome. And so I think what most marketers, including Molson Coors, are looking at more today is like getting clearer around the different audiences available, and then creating the right message to reach those audiences at scale. And then down the pipeline, link it, like I said, to a business outcome. And so we are, both implementing implementing first party data solutions where we can, really ramping up our ability to kind of have a view of consumers that have raised their hand that want to know about our brand. Like those are more of your loyal consumer bases, but also really getting clear on what are the types of key behaviors or attitudes for certain consumers that look like those loyal audiences, and then kind of going out and finding them through the media channels that we're buying, including in OTT, so that we can create messaging that resonates with them and hopefully create some consideration of our brand.
Now, Brad, you guys are a huge investor in live sports programming.
That's right.
It's a big part of your media spend. It's been a crazy year. Tell us a little bit about some of your thoughts of what we've gone through and looking at the sports season in 2021, and through the lens of your investment and what your plans are.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, sports is it's a big area of focus for. I mean, I consider it the competitive battleground of the alcohol beverage category, right? Like there are some pretty big players in our space that are all competing for the same eyeballs, and we know that our products are enjoyed responsibly while they're watching live sports. It's part of the occasion. So that's why our products fit so well in that environment. And so what we have wanted to make sure is obviously that we're spending in a way that ensures that we're at a competitive level, that our brands are being showcased in those environments. We're identifying places for our brands are within our portfolio to create some ownership or separation, really linking to some of the places where we may have sponsorships of those particular teams or events. And then looking for opportunities, even like that kind of co-viewing opportunity, where consumers, what they are doing while they're watching live sports, and making sure our brands are also there. So whether it's in social media or other platforms, we want to make sure that our brands are showing up in a way that can create an engagement, like the game around the game concept, where it makes sense, so that we're finding multiple ways to interact with fans of these particular teams or events in a way that is authentic to the brand, as well as links really closely to the environment.